Hey guys, how are you doing today? It is your coach B Wiley, and I just wanted to talk to you guys today. Today is all about how to emotionally disconnect from individuals who are no longer pouring into you. I recently had to do this with a couple of people recently. One person like last year, early on last year, and then one person literally over the weekend. So one thing that I knew, first of all, what do I mean by that? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button since you're here, notification bell. A lot of y'all watch my videos who aren't subscribed to my channel, but y'all keep coming back. So you might as well subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So what does it mean to be emotionally disconnected? I can tell you what it means to be emotionally connected first. You know how when you're connected to someone and they're going through something and they come to you and they vent about it. And because they're your friend or your family member, you have empathy, you have sympathy. You feel passionate about if they're mad, sad, depressed, upset, or frustrated. You take that on because they're your people. And then it's just like, no. So if someone is doing them wrong, you're gonna be like, oh, we don't F with her. She doing my family member wrong, he doing my family member wrong, or my best friend. We're not gonna get down with them. We don't roll like that. You have their back. When you're emotionally invested and emotionally available to your friends and family, you have their back. You're their ride or die. You're going to let them know when they're out of pocket, of course, in an appropriate way, because those are your people, and you should be open and be able to have an honest, constructively, what is it called? You should be able to offer them constructive criticism when you're talking to them if they're your people. Now, if they're not, that's another conversation. So we're talking about emotionally available. Now, let's say in return, now that's you being emotionally available and invested in your people, family and friends, both. Now, let's say in turn, if something is going on with you, let's use the pandemic for example. There are a lot of people who were very depressed, a lot of people who were stressed out, a lot of people who are have financial burdens and are just don't have enough money. And we're not talking about people who are used to struggling. We're talking about people who are used to having money and now the bottom has fallen out, and that has affected them mentally, spiritually, and physically. Now let's talk about them. People like that, let's say it's you fall into one of those categories. I know I fall into one of those categories. What do you want? You want those same people, your family and friends that you poured into. What do you want? You want reciprocation. However, not everyone is capable of giving you what you need, pouring into you. Your job is to see it for what it is, accept them for who they are or not, and decide if it's worth having them in your life, like in the VIP section. And what I mean by that, when you have someone in your life at the VIP section, they got easy access to you. They can come to the house. They can call you. If you don't answer, they'll shoot you a text message and say, hey, I need to talk. You make yourself available. Those are your VIP people. And if your VIP people are not pouring into you like you pour into them, and even when you talk to them, it's almost just like there's a disconnect. Like even when you're trying to tell them how you feel about what's going on because you're struggling, their reaction is off-putting. They don't have a reaction at all, or they overly criticize you versus giving you constructive criticism, resolutions, or solutions. If you're in that situation, that VIP person has to be demoted. They got to go down to the rest of the regular folk and go over there and figure it out. So if you don't do that, I'm telling you, you will continue to expect them to show you something different. So let's say you have a problem today and it's a disconnect. They're just not getting it. They're being, like I said, being overcritical, pointing the finger back at you, not even listening, not having a response, or giving you some bizarre reaction. Then you have another 6 months later. You have another, because we all go through stuff. You have another incident like 6 months later, and you think that you can reach out to them. Because in the meantime, in between time, they done borrowed some money from you. You done babysat their kids for them so they can go out on a date night with their boo. You've come to the family reunion and cooked the dish to show support because their caterer canceled on them, and you just been there. You just been there, and you ain't asking for nothing back other than the same support. And support does not cost money, it is an emotional availability. So now, 6 months later, you're in another situation to where you have lost some weight and you've been working out and getting yourself toned up real good, and now boom, you lost all that weight that you put on, and it wasn't because you were underweight, and so you wanted to be not overweight, but you wanted to be you wanted to be the right weight for your height and feel good and have that'll give you confidence, and so you're frustrated. And not only that, your job, since you're back working, they've now cut your hours half again. So it's like, oh, you're so frustrated and you want to go to this VIP friend or a family member to talk about it, and they can't be bothered. They're distracted. They point the finger back at you. They say you're the problem, and they just really don't have empathy. They don't have any sympathy if you needed it. They don't have any kind of words or resolutions or solutions to come up with to assist you in your mental health. It's kind of like you're talking to a wall. Do we get it? I hope you got it from what I'm saying and how I broke it down. If you're in a situation like that, if you're in a situation with someone you've been friends with for 20 plus years, 10 years, 5 years, a year, and you feel depleted when you talk to them and you keep expecting them to show you something different, however, they keep showing you who you are and you continue to get beat down, crushed, angry, mad, sad, depressed, when they react the way they do, or they don't react at all, when you really need that support from them, then I challenge you to distance yourself from them, to become emotionally unavailable to them, and use that good energy that you've been trying to pour into them, or that you have been pouring into them, and you pour it into other places, specifically yourself. Number one, you want to pour love back into yourself. That's number one. Then do a head count of all your relationships. Think about all your closest relationships where you are receiving what you desire from this person over here. This person who is not emotionally available to you can be a family member. Just because they're family doesn't mean you can't or don't have the right to set boundaries and emotionally disconnect. It's going to be harder because it's a family member. However, it must be done. Now is the time to only give where it is given back. Relationships are a two-way street. They go around. They're reciprocated. I use that word all the time because I'm serious. If you're putting out, and you don't put out to get back, that's self-serving. You put out to support because that's who you are. It's in the kindness of your heart. You love these people, you appreciate them. However, some people just don't know how to love back. They choose not to be emotionally invested or available, or they're so caught up in their own stuff that it's all about them and to heck with anyone else. And before you emotionally detach, it's good to see maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they just don't have the words to say. And you give it a time or two to see what they're going to say and how they're going to react when you come to them with something. And then if it's just not jiving, then you have to remove yourself. You have to choose to want to pour into people who are going to pour into you back. I'm telling you, it's the best thing for your mental health. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, man, you know what? Every time I call my homegirl, or every time I call my homeboy, and I try to have a good heart-to-heart conversation, there is just a disconnect. And you know what the disconnect in is? They're not emotionally invested in the friendship or familyship, and you just gotta accept that. And you might get angry, you might get sad, mad, and depressed, whatever. Go through those emotions, journal it out, talk to God about it, ask God to order your steps, and move accordingly. Now is the time to connect with people who are connected with you. So if they are emotionally disconnected, it's time for you to move around. And that doesn't mean you're going to have beef. That doesn't mean it's going to be an argument. That don't mean you ready to fight. No, nothing. It's just you know who they are. They showed you who you are. Now show yourself out of the door. You can still talk to them if you choose to. One of the people that I had to do this to, I don't talk to that person. If I saw them right now in passing, would I talk to them? Sure. I'd speak, hey, how's it going? Whatever. However, we don't have to sit and I don't have to tell you my business and I don't have to really tell you nothing. I can just keep it surface level. So if you continue, because if it's a family member, you're going to see your family member. So you're just not going to talk to your family member. You want to keep it surface level. Don't go below that surface unless you want to be hurt, upset, depressed again. Okay, guys, this was just a video that I thought that I should put out there because I like to let you guys some experiences I have. If I'm coaching you on it, 9 times out of 10, I've gone through it, or I'm at the tail end of coming out on the other side of it. So I'm out on the other side of another relationship that I had to emotionally disconnect. And it literally just happened like last week through the week, but it's been happening. It's been like a roller coaster with this person for a long time. And so I've had a talk with a few close family members and friends, and they really helped me with this process. And now I know what to do, and I feel better. I feel good. So I hope this video helps you. If you're still here, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell. I do videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am on Facebook every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with Ask B. Wiley, where you ask me questions about dating, relationship, breakup, communication. If you want more from me, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram, Coach B. Wiley. I am on TikTok, Coach B. Wiley. I am on Facebook, Coach B. Wiley. Twitter, Coach B. Wiley. You get it? Ask B. Wiley at coachbwiley.com is my email address. All right, guys. Talk to you in the next one.